Hey, everybody, it is Wes, Gardner, Kami the Hobo himself, and welcome to KamiLog, episode number 1. So, you may be wondering what this is. A lot of you may know me from Twitch, but through and through, I'm a podcast guy. I've been podcasting since 2008. Well, actually 2006, but I'm known from Nitro Beard, doing the Beardcast, and I love it. I love podcasting. I think podcasting has changed a lot since then. I also think Twitch is changing. It's getting bigger and better and all of these things, but I think the dynamic is shifting. And this is just an idea that I've had for quite some time. And as a throwback, a lot of you old-time fans may remember the Power Hour used to be a podcast. It was a podcast first. And it was just a one-man audio show, and I think there's something genuine about that. There's a sense of, I don't know, simplicity to it, and we'll kind of touch on this, but whenever you start getting into the live broadcasting and scheduling, and now you run a network, and there's a lot of complex structures in place that make it to where the content isn't necessarily as important, and I think that's a shame. But what KamiLog is going to be is a weekly, just 30-minute, 30 to 45-minute, maybe even less, maybe more, depends on the week, podcast, where we just sit down and we just talk about stuff. And so this week, we actually have E3 to talk about. I have a few games that I saw that I'm really impressed with. Overall, the show just felt kind of non-eventful, but we'll get into that. Then I am going to talk a little bit about Twitch. I've been getting a lot of questions about the changes in my Twitch streaming schedule and the content and what's going on, and so I'd like to answer and clarify some of that. But then I want to end it by talking about a few exciting things, things I'm kind of excited about. One of them being the fact that in 2 weeks, a new Star Ocean game is coming out. And I love that series. Love it. But I've heard mixed things about the new one. I don't know. But it's funny, we're kicking this off. I'm watching the RPG Limit Break Marathon. Our good friend Leonis was in it, did some great work, did a 3-hour speed run for them of Final Fantasy 1. I think his competitor did it in like 2 hours and 30-something minutes. But hey, beating a Final Fantasy game in 3 hours is no joke. Like, so big ups to Leonis on that. One of our Hobo Network friends. But to get this started, let's actually talk about E3 first, because I think E3 over the past few years, it's gotten a little, I don't know, it's not as exciting anymore, right? Because you have PAX, you have stuff like TwitchCon. They call it that, right? TwitchCon? I think so. Something like that. So there are all these shows, and just the way that the industry works now is different than it was, hell, even 2 years ago, really. I mean, I've been writing freelance, I've been doing a lot of stuff since, the early aughts, and things have changed greatly. Like, I'm actually at the point now to where I can tell old man stories about, like, I remember freelancing for Ziff Davis Media, companies that aren't around anymore. And it's kind of surreal, and like the changes in E3 and the show, I don't even know who it's for anymore. Is it for the publishers? Is it for the gaming fans? Is it for the investors? There's a weird balance, but there were a few things that I did see that kind of caught my interest. Of course, Kojima making Death Stranding. Is that what that title is? Death Stranding. Norman Reedus is in it. He was naked, bunch of dead fish everywhere. Well, I saw the 5 like floating figures in the distance, and immediately, since I'm a huge nerd, I thought of Battlestar Galactica and the final 5 Cylons with their hoods up. So hey, if Kojima has the final 5 Cylons, I'm in. Like, I'm a Metal Gear guy. I love his brand of crazy. I think this is also going to be crazy. Crying naked Norman Reedus. Weird, very weird, but, we'll see where it goes. But here's the thing. To me, game of the show for E3 was Zelda. Zelda looks dope. Like, it looks good. It looks like Nintendo's sort of dabbling in Witcher-esque gameplay mechanics, and there's a lot of fun stuff to that. And seeing some of the battle, they dedicated an entire day on the Nintendo Treehouse just to Zelda, which rightfully so. And they said, oh, we're just going to stay in the plateau. We're not even going to go to the other areas. That's what I've been doing all week, by the way. So those of you that saw that I have not been online on Twitch, I've been catching up on all sorts of E3 stuff. There was a lot of content, but none of it really stood out. But Zelda, the more I saw of that, thank goodness I have a Wii U, because that's definitely going to be a purchase. And in exciting news, and we'll touch more on this whenever we talk about the changes in Twitch, I actually have found a way with Windows 10 and my AverMedia capture card to play PS4, Wii U, and actually be able to hear what's going on. It's all synced correctly. It looks beautiful. I did some test runs of it, so expect something next week. We could play Wii U stuff. We could play PS4. I got the Nathan Drake collection. Something I've been wanting for a while. Go back to that series, but Zelda looks like they're actually taking chances, and they're learning from, well, why, every Zelda starts this way. Well, why does every Zelda game start this way? Why can't we change that? And they're starting to ask questions, and they're starting to push themselves, and that's what I love Nintendo doing. The last time that really happened was Super Mario Galaxy, and that I consider that one of the greatest games ever made. So Nintendo putting their best foot forward and trying new things is always going to be a boon. That's always going to be welcome. But other than that, I mean, I'm really trying to think of, it's cool that they announce things like Scalebound and Crackdown for Windows, because you guys know me, I'm a big PC guy. So the more games for PC, in my opinion, the better. It just gives more variety, more content. I will say it was announced before E3, but that Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age, the HD remaster of Final Fantasy XII, yes, indeedy. That's my favorite game in that series. Cannot wait. I know it's not technically E3 because they talked about it before, but I'm pretty jazzed about it. But yeah, E3, it is what it is. I enjoyed parts of it, but a lot of it just seems kind of run-of-the-mill now. There's no big special events and stuff. And maybe there's, once again, we talked about simplicity, going back to doing a podcast. Maybe there's something simple about, okay, all of the games and announcements from E3 we already know about. Let's just talk about it. Let's see it. Maybe there's something to that. And, stuff with TwitchCon and PAX are big, bombastic. We're going to have Foo Fighters play your BlizzCon, or those bigger event-oriented, where 8 million things happen every day and you can't see it all. I will also, before we get off the E3 topic, talk about VR is looking better. Like, whenever they first announced it, in the Oculus Rift and the Vive and even PlayStation VR, I didn't know. I wasn't real big in it. There's something to this, but I don't know if it's for me. I get motion sick real easy. Like, I really do. So I just didn't know, and it's still like some of these things are $800. Well, which one's $800? The Rift, or one of them's like $600, one of them's $800, and I know PlayStation VR is $400-ish. I think they said so. It's just out of my price range, and it seems kind of bizarre, and I don't know how good the games are going to be, and so it's one of those wait and see things. Like, I do think VR it's not going to be the 3D movie fad. Like, I don't think we're there. I think VR is actually kind of here to stay. And there's a lot of benefits even outside of gaming for VR. So, like, training the military or training pilots even. What better way? Because they already have responsive cockpits to learn how to fly. But now, you get your United Airlines brand new pilot. He puts 300 hours in the virtual reality deal where he actually has the headset on. He has to look at the dashboard. He has to do all this stuff, right? And even rehabilitation and medical stuff. This could be really powerful technology. And that's what excites me about it. but it's just out of my price range right now. I was excited to see the stuff. Some of it looks silly. The Final Fantasy 15 where they give you the thumbs up, like, yeah, we're in VR, bro. Made me laugh. But some of it looks good. But that's my thoughts on E3. We're gonna take a little break here, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about the Twitch movement and sort of what my thoughts are on Twitch and where my head's at, and going forward, what to expect, and why did I make the shift to painting instead of video games, and will I ever play a video game ever again? And yeah, these are the type of questions I'm getting, so whenever we come back from the break, I'll answer some of them. Alright guys, welcome back. So yeah, the whole Twitch thing, to start off, I will say Twitch is a very powerful service and a very powerful tool. Now, I did do a podcast with Marco Flores and Chris Troxtel, respectively, Nerd in the Bay and Vampiric Warrior. Last year? God, it's already almost been a year. And we talked about going full-time on Twitch, because I was a full-time Twitch streamer. I have almost 10,000 followers, and what is that like, and how much pressure is behind it, and there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that people don't necessarily see or know about, or you putting in 70 hours of work. Sure, you were getting paid, what were we making, like $400 a month, but that won't even pay rent anywhere in the United States for a month. You know what I mean? Like that's that's pennies. You're working for pennies an hour. And just that type of, is it worth it to just keep your head down and kind of grind through it? And in my opinion, it's not. I don't see myself Twitch streaming full time probably ever again, but especially, 10 years, the way I like to make life decisions. Do I see myself doing this in 10 years? Do I still sense some sort of like the back of your mind passion behind it? And the answer for Twitch is no. The answer for making content, however, is yes. So as you see, we think of new stuff all the time. So we went from full-time video games to, to part-time painting. And then we went back, and the Power Hour used to be a podcast, but then it became a thing with Marco and I, which I love. And that's definitely not going to change. I think there's something really golden there. But there's still something to the one-person podcast. I think there's still some, it's relaxed. You can just listen to it in the background. You could be doing dishes or on your bus ride or something. You can just listen to someone talk. And I think there's something beautifully simple about that, where it's not hyped up and, you have to have all these production values and whatever. You just have a little song in the background, like we're doing right here, and you just talk over it. And I think there's something to that. But with Twitch, it's very easy to get away from you. It's very easy to make that consume every waking moment of your day. Like, well, my Twitch stream, and what are my viewers going to think if I don't go live? And you feel all of this pressure, I guess, to be there and do this thing because, you don't want to upset your people. And that's true too. And I mean, I still feel that way about making content. Whenever I'm not making content, like right now I'm doing a job search. I just graduated. I just got engaged. I got engaged, less than a week ago. I proposed. So like life is moving and it's going. But then in the back of my mind, what are the Twitch people going to think? And I mean, whenever it got to that point, I'm like, okay, something's got to shift, because, I love you guys. I love the fan base. If you're listening for the first time, thank you. If you've been around forever, thank you definitely for hanging in there, because God knows I do 30 projects at a time. But it's just not Twitch just is not a fulfilling venture anymore. Or I should say, it's not fulfilling for me. And I should say that I feel, and like 101, I mean, with KamiLog episode number 1, I'm going to tell you guys that this is all my opinion. I'm not preaching. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just telling it like it is for me. Everyone's, your results may vary. That little asterisk that they put on the Weight Watchers ads or whatever. Like, you may not have this, but it's a real thing after doing it for about 2 years, and I started noticing trends and things. But I think there's a lot of pressure to perform, and I think that you can get bogged down in so many of the details that you lose the genuine being a person. Like, I guess that's why I kind of wanted to move more towards something like this, is you get that one-to-one. You're watching or you're listening for the person, not for the content, if that makes sense. And I like that interaction and that reaction. And in some ways, Twitch allows that, but then in other times, not so much. I mean, Twitch chat now, if you go to a major event, you look at any esports event, if there's 20,000 people watching, all it is like, sorry, I got a text right there. My daughter has pneumonia, so poor girl. But if a big event's happening, esports event or whatever, you go into chat and it's 20,000 people posting memes instantly. Like, every half second, there's just garbage on the screen. And, like, there's a weird, like, gender stuff and weird, as far as, like, hate speech and, I don't know. Like, it just seems like it's becoming a fiasco. And then whenever you have executives at Twitch, and, I mean, there's not much they could do about it besides, eliminate chat entirely. But even then, I mean, YouTube comments, and it's just whenever people have anonymity, they're going to kind of be a dick, right? Like, isn't that the rule of the world? I just, Twitch is evolving into something that's bigger than itself. And I feel like the only way to really make a strong dent, if you want to even partake it as not even a business, but just as like a place to hang out, you have to be on top of your game 24/7, and it's a lot of pressure. And maybe this is pressure I'm putting onto myself. I don't know. But it's constant, right? You're constant. Oh, what's my bit rate? And, oh, did I drop any frames? And if I drop frames, that's, a loss of retention and viewers. You start getting so caught up in these numbers, and it's a numbers game, and it is. I mean, the great thing about this, I'm going to put up this podcast. It's going to get like 5 listens, and I'm stoked about that. So all 5 of you that have listened this far, thank you so much. Because it's not about that anymore. Like, I graduated college. I want to get my job that's going to pay me so I can afford a house with my, new fiance, so we can have kids, and I can like grill burgers outside. And then I'm going to paint. I'm going to get good at painting so I can paint stuff and just, put it on DeviantArt, and people will be like, good painting, bro. That's my goal. Like, that's it I don't want to be a mega millionaire YouTube sensation like that. That has never interested me. And I will say, if you're going into this, well, this looks like a great way to make money. Hey, Kami said he made $400 a month. I could make $400. Don't do it. The moment, I'm telling you, and I said this last year in the other podcast, the moment you start doing it for the numbers is the moment your product tanks. It's the second it happens. And that's unfortunate, because then you start missing the point. And once again, my opinion, but you start missing the point. It's not a genuine conversation. You're not being yourself on stream. So that's why a lot of people asked you, I had almost 10,000 followers. Now I've lost a few hundred. I'm at like 9,500 something. But, I was almost at 10 grand, and people are like, what are you doing? Like, you had such a good thing going. Like I made some dire mistake. And I'm like, well, let's take a step back a minute. Right? Like, what's the old saying? You have to be able to kill your darlings. Only you have that power, right? So I remember I was getting 100-something viewers live at a time, and like partnership was within grasp. And then I started playing World of Warcraft because I was like, hey, I might as well start playing World of Warcraft, popular game. It's always at the top of the charts. Yeah, let's start playing this again. I want to get back in, kind of see what the game has to offer. Everyone left. went from, like, legit, went from over 100 average live viewers to down to like 10 within a matter of weeks. And it was like, just because of the game I'm playing? Like, I didn't change. Just because of the game I'm playing. Is this for real? Is this real life? Is it that dependent on what you're doing? And that was kind of the wake-up call. I was like, okay, I know the people, those 10 people, God bless every one of you. Because in my opinion, you know, you're there for the person. You're there for the personality. You're there for the conversation. And those are the people I'm interested in anyway. I want to get to know you. I want to talk about stuff. I want to know you, what makes you tick, what's your favorite games, do you read comic books? Let's talk. Right? That's where I'm coming from. That's what I love. I love meeting people. People make the world go round. And that's my interest. Not necessarily in video games, not in comics, not in movies, not in, art or whatever. My interest is in the human experience. Like, let's meet, let's mingle, let's talk. Let's become, acquaintances. That's the passion. Like, that's what fuels me. And that's why I always want to make content like this, is because I think that's the important part, that connection. I love it. I cannot get enough of it. Any other way I can find to connect to people, I love it. But Twitch is different now. It's even different since the 2 years I've been on it. And some are for better, some are for worse. Like I said, I'm watching the RPG Limit Break thing right now. I'm hosting it on my channel, by the way, all weekend, June 17th through the 20th. So best of luck to all of them, all the runners. But I just watch it to, get more info about a game. And I watch a lot of the official ones now. Like, I watched the Square Enix one, and I watched the Nintendo Treehouse one, and those are the Twitches I watch now. And of course, the people in the Hobo Network and the people that I've come to know as friends, I'll watch their stuff, of course. Because it's good stuff. It's good content. They're doing some fun stuff. I want to be a part of it. I host them. I do what I can. But the numbers don't matter anymore. And that was why I moved to art. Art's something I've always wanted to get better at. I'm a graphic designer by trade. That's what my degree's in. I hope to get a decent paying job soon using this skill set. But the actual painting, and like Bob Ross, and like look at Rembrandt and these deep colors, and oh my God, Da Vinci did everything, and his paintings and his sketches, and seeing the world around you. And once again, it goes back to that whole human experience thing. Like, I want to be able to interpret my vision of the world to other people, whether it's through podcasts or art or films or ideas or whatever it is. That's the drive. So I think being able to paint, doing like conceptual art, like Feng Zhu, he has his own school in Singapore. He's probably the best in the business. Craig Mullins, Sparth. You get these guys, man, and they just have this vision, and it's infectious. It's contagious. And I want to learn how to do that. So it's part of the learning process. I like to learn new things. I don't like to be stagnant. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, that's why we wanted to come back to the one-man podcast and things like that. I just like change. But on that point, on the point of change, we'll take another quick break. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to discuss my inner turmoil right now. And it really is. It shouldn't be, but it is. About if I should purchase Star Ocean 5. What is it? Internalness and faithlessness, or it has some insane name. I don't even know the name. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. But we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back and we'll talk about it. Alrighty, welcome back. I got a little drink right here. Excuse me. It's usually good form to take your drinks before you come back, but, we're going against the grain here. We're going to try to reinvent the wheel, as it were. But Star Ocean 5. I am a JRPG guy. I love Japanese role playing games. I don't have time to play them anymore. Those games are incredibly long. They're very filled out. They have a lot of subsystems, and these subsystems have subsystems and a lot of moving parts. But I love them. I can't get enough of them. The stories are always cheesy and badly written. The characters are as deep as, goes to your ankles. It's the kiddie pool of depth. You're not going to be, this isn't War and Peace. We're not, you're not doing some Chaucer stuff. But I love it for what it is. Breath of Fire 3 and Star Ocean 2 are up there with like Final Fantasy 7. I think those 3 games, just those 3 games right there, those are 3 of my Desert Island games. Like, give me Final Fantasy 7, give me Breath of Fire 3, give me Star Ocean 2. I'm golden. That's kind of the deal. There's countless other ones. I'm so excited that all the Final Fantasies are on Steam now. Well, besides 1, 2, and 12, but 12 will be getting soon, hopefully, with that Zodiac Age. Final Fantasy 1 and 2, I'm not sure why we don't have those yet. They already have them for, I know Square has their built-in cell phone app thing, and you can buy those games there. So maybe it's an exclusive deal. Like, I don't know why they haven't done the same treatment from like 5 and 6, weird graphics aside, to do like 1, and because 3 and 4 have the 3D stuff, the DS ports, I should say. But yeah, and then of course they need to bring over Final Fantasy Tactics, but that's on a tangent. We're on a tangent. So Star Ocean 2 is in my kind of holy trinity of JRPGs. And Star Ocean 3 I played and I liked. A lot of people put Star Ocean 3 above 2, but I don't think, for me, it was even close. And maybe that could just be an age thing. Maybe that could be I played Star Ocean 2 well after it came, or Star Ocean 3 well after it came out. But with Star Ocean 2, I was there like on release week. I don't think I got it on release day, but I think it was that week. And I went to I remember, man, I went and saw it, and it was at a Babbage's. That's a name. Like, raise your hand right now. I don't care if you're on a subway or whatever. If you know what a Babbage's is. Like, I'm not talking EB Games, not Electronics Boutique. I'm talking, I'm talking Babbage's, Funko Land. You remember those? Let take you to the Wayback Machine, tell you about some Babbage's. But but yeah, it was a Babbage's. I had just enough for the game. Like, I think I had to spot a few bucks for tax, because whenever you're a kid, you don't realize, the price on the sticker. You still have a few more dollars because of tax. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. Like, freaking out. My mom's like, you saved up, you mowed your lawns, you did whatever you had to do to get this. So yeah, I can spot you the $2 for your $50 product. And I got it, and I just read through that pamphlet, the little book, they give you on that inside jewel case. Just read it over and over. And Claude Kenny and Rena, and this whole world, and Ashton, and look at this, and there's there's an armory, and there's a tournament I can be part of, and all these private actions, and there's a ethereal queen, and I can pickpocket people. It was the biggest, even in my mind now, whenever I remember the game and I go back and play it sometimes, I remember it way bigger than it was. Because it was only one planet. It was one planet, and you went to a second planet, spoiler alert, near the end of the game. But that was it. You just went like 8 towns. But in my mind, I had the most options out of anything ever, It was my World of Warcraft. It was my Witcher 3. It was whatever you want to call it now. But it was everything to me. I was just so enthralled with this. And, Star Ocean 3, played it, liked it okay. Star Ocean 4, the same thing. I do think 3 is better than 4. 4 kind of did some missteps, but it was bloated. Like, I think the biggest thing about 4, people make fun of the voice acting, and yeah, it was kind of terrible. But I liked the battle system okay. I thought the graphics were fine. I felt engaged in it. It was just that second half of the game. Well, I say second half. the first main part of the game is like, what, 15, 20 hours? And then the second part of the game is 200 hours, but it's all repetitive and bloated, and you just have to level up, and there's nothing really substantial that happens. And I just got burnt out, and I was like, man, it's a bummer. You know, Star Ocean 2, I bet now I can beat it in like 30 hours. The first time it was more like 80, because I did everything. I went everywhere. I talked to every NPC. I did everything. And then on PSP, I played Star Ocean 1, and I liked it well enough. It used Star Ocean 2's stuff. They kind of remastered it for First Departure, I think it was called. And then Second Evolution was kind of the remake. And here's the thing. Those are on PlayStation 4 in Japan. They should bring those over here to America and also put it on Steam, and I'll be a happy camper. Well, that's besides the point. So Star Ocean 2, it just felt big, and there's so much to do and so much to look at and so many cool little nuances. So in comes Star Ocean 5. I have a PlayStation 4. The game's coming out PS3 and PS4. It comes out here in North America in 2 weeks, June 28th, 4th, 3rd-ish, something. Whatever June 20-something is a Tuesday, whichever one that is. It's coming out there. I have, and here's the real struggle. I have a $50 Amazon gift card just sitting in my account. I have Amazon Prime, so I can get it delivered release day for $48.99. So it's free. Technically, this game is free, and it's a Star Ocean game. So it should be a no-brainer. No-brainer. However, a lot of bad reviews. A lot of angry people playing this game. And they're coming at it from different angles. They're saying, oh, the story only takes 18 to 20 hours. And for them, it's a huge negative. You know, they're like, what happened to the 60 to 80 to 100 hour magnum opus and this big sprawling area? But for me, it's like, man, I'm a 30-year-old dude. I'm looking for a full-time job. 20 hours sounds about right to me. You know, it's enough for me to get in there, kind of explore a little bit, learn about this world, and then I'm out. That seems about fair, right? 20 hours is about my average playtime of anything lately. I mean, Witcher 3, I don't think I got further than 15 hours. And that's a 200-hour game, easy. But I just kind of fell off, you know? I think the only more recent game that I've gotten more time out of that with was Deus Ex Human Revolution, because now I'm going back and replaying it before Mankind Divided comes out in August. So, you know, I think my Steam says I have 60 hours in that one. So, but that's, you know, that's not par for the course. That's the exception instead of the rule. So all of these things that are seemed as complaints, and a lot of people just angry, and oh, there's no cutscenes. Everything happens in the world, and I'm fine with that. Like, JRPG cutscenes, I guess Xenosaga kind of ruined me on that. An hour and a half long cutscenes that you can't skip, and then if you die, you have to watch the whole thing again. Like, come on now. Ain't nobody got time for that. So all these things that people are putting as negatives, I might construe as a positive. I saw the Star Ocean Star Logs 1, 2, and 3, and really enjoyed those. The gameplay looked good. The graphics look good. Controlling 7 people at a time seems crazy to me. But the battles look good. It's gorgeous. And, I mean, hell, it's something we could Twitch stream. We got the PS4 set up now. We got the Wii U set up. We could stream it. We could play this. We could see what's going on. So there's a lot of benefits. And the fact that it'd be free. I have just $50 sitting in my account doing nothing. And it's a long-tested, standing, tried-and-true addition to the JRPG series I love. So it seems like a natural fit, but it's just one of those deals. And I know not too far after launch in Japan, it dropped to like half price. So that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, it pains my heart to say it, but Star Ocean's not going to sell very well. It just won't. It's not going to, especially in America. It's never sold well here in America. Europe and Japan seem to be the biggest places where Star Ocean does well. It's not going to do well. So that means the price is going to drop. But I don't want to be that guy. Like, I want them to do more with Star Ocean. I don't want it to turn into Breath of Fire where you're making a cell phone game. Like, no, give me a traditional role-playing game, which is what they're giving me with Star Ocean 5. Sort of. with all the different battles and battle systems and what have you. I don't know. I'm excited about it, but I'm also, I don't want to be bummed. I love Star Ocean 2 so much, and that game's never going to go away. I realize that. Like, I'll always have that game, and it's perfect, and even with its nuances and all the weird translation stuff and the terrible voice acting, I think that game is perfect. I love it. But I don't want anything to kind of warp my perception of maybe this series wasn't as good as I think it is. You know, you never want that. You never want to go back and watch like one of your favorite films from the 90s and be like, God, this is garbage. And then you're constantly tainted from your good memories, you know? So there's a little bit of that, but I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Well, should I do it? Should I go for it? Would you like to see it? We could do some stuff for it. It should be a lot of fun. But I think that's it for this episode. Yeah, we're right at about the 36-minute mark. I hope you guys had a good little first episode. It's fun. It's relaxing to be back in the podcasting chair. And yeah, we kind of just chilling out a little. And of course, you can hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/KamiDahobo, KamiDahobo. And of course, KamiDahobo.com. There's a forum. We got some articles up. I know this podcast will be up on the articles page. Yeah, that's it. I mean, twitch.tv/KamiDahobo, of course. You can catch the live streams there when I do them. And of course, you're hearing this on YouTube, so if you like what you hear, hit that sub button. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm getting all the social media stuff in there. But yeah, so this is just a kind of general laid-back atmosphere. If you have any questions that you would like to ask for me to answer on the show, feel free to leave a comment here. Hit me up on Twitter. Whatever you feel like doing. But let me know, what was your favorite stuff at E3? What do you really enjoy? Are JRPGs your deal? You know, like, have you imported Star Ocean, and can you tell me to stay far away from it, or should I do it? Or, you know, like, let me know in the comments. But that's my time for this first episode, guys. And thank you so much for listening. And we'll probably be back next week talking about, well, God knows what. You know, could be anything. But we'll catch you next time. Peace.